my mic on? Yeah. Do I have a motion to reconvene to open session? Anybody?
I'll move.
Thank you. Anybody want a second? Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? No. So we have 4 ayes, 0 noes, 1 absent. Okay. Please stand and give the Pledge of Allegiance. Okay. Ready, set, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Okay. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
I'll second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? No. So we have 4, 0, 1. Okay. Announcements of actions taken in closed session. We gave direction on negotiations with STA, and we gave direction on negotiations with CSEA. Okay, thank you. Individuals, wow, it just cruises right along. Individuals desiring to address the board. Let's see. Shelby Lehman. Monica? Okay. Hi, Shelby. You'll have 3 minutes.
Hello. My name is Shelby Lehman. I have a kid at Spreckels and a kid at Buena Vista. And first, I'd like to thank all the teachers for all the hard work. My kids love going to school. They're so happy. They got new desks. And Ivy, like, the first thing she says, "Oh, we got new desks." I'm like, aces. So she's very happy about the new equipment. The teachers are very enthusiastic, and they really love what they're doing. So thank you, teachers. I brought my kid, my Buena Vista child's backpack. I weighed it last night. It weighs 17.5 pounds. If anybody would like to hold it that doesn't have a Buena Vista child, please. Oh, and this doesn't include the saxophone that she carries to school on Tuesday and home on Friday. So I would just like something to maybe coordinate at the beginning of the year, less individual notebooks, more 1-inch binder with dividers. I'll buy you reams and reams of paper to keep in all the classes. But this is just a lot. I mean, my kid's small, and this is a big, heavy backpack. The water bottle, a lunch, PE clothes, shoes, it's a lot. So I just wanted to bring that to your attention. And also, I didn't understand something at the last meeting about the waiver that was signed in order to not spend money. I don't know what that was for, but if it was for money that could have been used to give the teachers a raise, not a raise, a bonus, that would be great. I think a lot of people would agree that the teachers deserve a little bit more money so we can keep them in our district. We have such a high turnover every year, and every year it's because they can't live off the money. They can go to a different district and make more money. So I hope you give them lots of raises and lots of bonuses because they deserve it. So thank you.
Thank you, Shelby. Mrs. DeBellis, Heidi.
Hi, my name is Heidi DeBellis. I teach first grade at Spreckels School, and I absolutely love being a teacher. It's my passion. Ever since I was in kindergarten, I wanted to be a teacher. I loved my teacher, Mrs. Miyake. She touched my heart and my soul, one of my role models, greatest role models, and so I'm walking in her shoes, and I love it. I love every minute of it. 25 years ago, I had the pleasure of going to CSU and get my credential. Professor Hasagawa was one of my teachers. And it's funny because in every single class, every professor mentioned at least once that you don't get into teaching for money. You get in for the love. You don't do it for money. And it's just always like, whatever. And 25 years later, I'm like, oh yeah, love doesn't pay the bills. It's great, but it doesn't pay the bills. So then I think about the country. And then I also think about jury duty. And every couple years, inevitably, I find myself at jury duty, and I absolutely hate it. I hate leaving my students. I don't like doing plans, but more than anything, I hate leaving my students who I care more about. And I feel resentful that the energy is getting put into like the criminal justice system and people who've made mistakes. And I think more money should be put on this end of human beings. This is the seed. This is where things begin. We can create bucket fillers and respectful citizens. And so it's a country, it's a national issue that education is underfunded. But at least here in this district, maybe we can do something here in this district. So thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. DeBellis. Mrs. Martignoni?
I'm Kelly Martignoni. I now teach at Buena Vista Middle School. It's my 8th year here in the district. And I wanted to just talk for a moment about what teaching has become over time and over these last few years. Of course, we know we've all become computer experts now, and now we get to be back in the classroom. But in addition to that, there are so many other duties that teachers are performing. Some of the social, emotional work that we're doing with students, and some of the other positive, nurturing things that we do to support students. Those things are part of what we do, but we don't necessarily have a lot of background and experience and training to prepare us to do that work at the caliber that we wish to do it. So as we are thinking about the future, I hope that we will all work together to ensure that our staffing is given opportunities to develop those skills so that we can provide for those needs for our students. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Okay, thank you. Recognition? Recognition? No? Okay, thank you. Bargaining unit presentations. Do we have anybody from STA, from the Spreckels Teachers Association? Just realized.
My pen is stuck. Oh, just a sec. Sorry about that. Good evening. My name is Laura Viarengo, and I am the proud president and representative of our Spreckels Teachers Association. We come before you tonight about halfway through the first trimester, with teachers having spent countless hours building relationships and establishing routines. STA has spent the last couple of weeks making individual phone calls and having one-on-one conversations with each and every one of our members. There are some notable trends that we believe the district needs to be aware of. Teachers are very grateful for being back on campus with colleagues and students. Because of the lack of structure of the last year and a half, student classroom behaviors and emotional wellness are emerging as a significant concern across all grade levels. Levels of teacher-perceived student academic learning loss vary greatly. While some teachers do feel supported, in general, teacher morale is suffering and teachers are exhausted. Many teachers are putting in significant hours of unpaid overtime just to stay afloat. A good number feel they are barely maintaining the status quo and in some cases are falling behind. Many lower grade level teachers are looking for more reliable in-person assistance in their classrooms. It is clear that 18 months of online teaching have taken their toll on student ability to function in a typical classroom setting. Many students are displaying noticeable levels of anxiety and a lack of ability to self-regulate emotions and unwanted behaviors in the classroom. Teachers are exercising patience and showing kindness and compassion every step of the way. We recognize that our young scholars need more time to get back into the swing of things. However, despite our best efforts to maintain and remain positive and upbeat, teachers are struggling, with many reporting they have financial difficulties on top of workplace challenges. Looking ahead, teachers are continuing to explore new strategies to improve student engagement and promote student well-being. But our mental and emotional reserves are drained. We are praying for good health for our students, their families, our teachers, our administrators, and our community at large, and are looking forward to working with the administration and board to make this a fruitful year for all. Thank you for your time and your support.
Thank you. Do we have a presentation from SCEA? No? Okay, thank you. Board member comments. Michael?
No comment, thank you.
Okay, Chris? Okay. Stephanie?
Just a couple comments. Again, we're in October, and so it's been nearly 2 months that we've been in school, and in some ways it feels, when you think about that, it doesn't sound like very long, but I think for many stakeholders, it feels like it's already been a long time. And again, I know right now it's just words, but I just want to acknowledge all of our stakeholders, because it has been a very long and hard 18 months, and these last nearly 2 months has still potentially continued that for many of our stakeholders, families, staff, faculty, our whole community. And again, it's, I don't have solutions or answers, but I think just acknowledging that a lot of people are really struggling right now, and I hope that we can lift people up that are around us, because we are still very much in challenging times. We're not past them yet, and so that's just all I want to say. So thank you.
Thank you, Stephanie. Comments from me. I went to a training with the county for board member. I can't even remember what it was at this time. And there's another meeting coming up, so if you guys haven't registered yet, there are lots of meetings coming up with the county that are free for us to access. So that's it. Do we have any oral and written communications? None? Okay, thank you. Reports. Superintendent.
I'm going to pass until the agenda item comes up, so
Okay,
I'll kind of
thanks.
weave it in there.
Okay, thank you. Buena Vista Middle School principal.
So we are officially halfway through the first trimester. Most of our students had never seen a progress report since our 8th graders are really the only ones who have been on campus for that long. So we've now introduced progress reports and grading and all of that fun stuff with getting it signed. But we are halfway through the first trimester, which means we are moving quite along. We have sports that are mid-season. I just came from the soccer game. We were doing really well tonight against Pacific Grove. At least the boys were. Woohoo! But our teachers have been working tirelessly. Our students as well. It's been quite an adjustment this year. We've seen a unique challenge moving into this year, but everybody's been very optimistic, and we appreciate the staff and all involved in creating the best return to campus that we could expect after 18 months, I think that was said, of the pandemic and being distance learning. So we're going to continue moving forward. We're going to start doing some fun activities like homeroom competitions, and we're looking at bringing back ASB and electives in the second trimester. So a lot of fun activities coming forward.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Spreckels Elementary School principal, Mrs. Sherpinski.
Good evening. As you probably noticed, this room's a little messy, but I welcome you anyway. But it's messy for a good reason, and I want to thank you for approving our furniture expenditure as we move forward. This is the first round. And so this is Mrs. Dickinson's juniors. We have two. Fifth grade class, and she has the students working at their areas, and you can see how cool the modular desks are because they can be configured in so many different ways, and they work really well, and they're on wheels. That's a book study, right? So cool. So anyway, so it's really neat, all that collaboration and the work, and that's why Miss Lehman likes her desk so much, because they really are cool. And there are Spreckels colors, and they're really, really nice. And I want to acknowledge Jaime and Robert, because they're spending a lot of extra hours of their hours to make this happen. And we, as of tomorrow, have 2 classrooms out of the 4 that are ready to go, and the rest are being built. And it's like a factory back there. They're moving quicker and quicker with each one. But thank you very much. I think it's really beneficial. There's comfort, there's storage, there's adjustments for big kids, little kids. They're on wheels, so you can move into these configurations easily. They really support the type of academics and collaboration that we would like the kids to have with the world we're in right now, so they can learn all those important things. So thank you very much, and I wanted to share that with you. And I know you really don't mind the stacks of furniture back there, but just so you know why. And on another note, I will agree with Kate on everything that she said, as far as this is extremely difficult year. We all know that. I spoke to my staff about this yesterday. There's no way we could do this without the incredible staff that we have, and how hard they work, and how much we support each other. I support them 100% and over that, and just really acknowledge what an incredible, awesome team they are. Tomorrow is Superhero Day, and I think that every teacher in this room is a superhero, and they didn't have to dress up for it, but you better dress up tomorrow. But anyway, and really getting back into the swing of the positive behavior and the positive activities, so the kids really start feeling like they belong to school. And our little ones who've never been to school before really start understanding what it is to be a community school. And it's anti-bullying month, and so we're really focused on positive behavior and remembering how to speak to each other and to be kind, especially in the world we're in right now. It's a tough thing, and sometimes that model for them isn't out there as much as we want it to be. And we all know that social media is really difficult right now, and it's really leading a lot of kids down the wrong path. But I'm proud of our students and how they're reacting to things, and how they talk about it and what they know is right and wrong. So I'm really proud of them and all their families for leading it that way. And so we have an assembly tomorrow to celebrate, and it's our first one all together. We had them separated the first round, and we're going to do it together tomorrow. And Unity Day is coming up, and we're going to have a virtual anti-bullying assembly. So we're going to keep the flow of being kind and being an upstander and standing up for yourself and for your friends, and to not be a bully. So that's our focus for October.
Great. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you. Do we have anyone from SUEF? No? Anybody? Communications? Any communications from PTO? The fundraiser's going really well. Great. And okay, thank you. What about Bobcat Club? Join Bobcat Club. I get the emails. There it is. Okay, let's see. Now we have business information, the fund balance report.
So beginning on page 8 of the agenda is the general fund balance report through the end of September. And on the budget side, this reflects the budget revision that you're going to see in a few minutes, an action item that reflects the final hiring, or the hiring to date. And so with that change, the operating surplus is $476,000. We are still just, revenues are tracking behind expenditures in the current year by about $170,000, but our ending balance obviously is what carries us through those deficits.
Yeah.
And as usual, any specific details you want to know about these reports, just give me a call or come by, we can talk about it.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Class configuration with inter-district transfers.
So this is a snapshot through the 26th. And we are sitting at 933. You can see we've dropped, I'm sorry, the 30th of September. We've dropped 3 students, all from Spreckels School. And as we've said, every month, we're watching this very closely. This is the trail since school started in August at 9:55. We're now down to 9:33. And this will be, actually yesterday was Seabed's Day. It's the California Basic Educational Data. It's a snapshot. And that was our enrollment yesterday as well, and that will become the first assumption for our budget development for the 22-23 school year. And we will need to watch this closely as we project those revenues, because you take this number times our attendance rate, and that becomes your average daily attendance that you're actually funded on. And so obviously it's significantly less than the current year's funding model, which goes back to the 19-20 year, which was that enrollment that year, we were at like 950, 60, 958 on the ADA side. Enrollment was 996. So there's been a huge drop, and we'll be paying close attention to it as we start doing those matriculations really in January. Just a couple of months from now, we'll start building the next year's budget.
Okay.
Veronica, I have a question. Maybe I've just not been paying attention, but at the bottom of the class configuration, you have that, there's something in purple written about with special ed. And I'd always assumed that special ed students were included in the numbers that we were looking at before. I'm wondering, did this purple stuff just show up?
No, it's always been there.
Really?
And there are, those are the special ed kids that are in a special day class. And so they start their homeroom in a special day class. If they spend more than 50% of their time outside of the general ed class, it's considered the SDC, and so they're tracked separately.
Oh, okay.
They spend a lot of time in with the general ed students as well, and Tammy, maybe you can explain that better if I'm.
Right. Yeah, and you can't double count them. Yeah, you're right, gotcha. Yeah, so there's teacher load and room load, but not necessarily additional student that we can count towards. Yeah, okay, got it.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. Anything else? We're good? Okay, facilities update.
So lately, we have been focusing on the installation of this new furniture. And today, Teresa, or maybe yesterday, the outside furniture, the new park picnic tables, and there's been more delivered. So that's coming next. The guys are very busy with that. And then we're also having weekly meetings starting our conversations about winterizing.
Okay.
We're hoping that we get some rain, so we're going to start focusing on getting the classrooms ready for the rain that's coming.
Okay, thank you. California Department of Education, the approval for request for allowance of attendance due to the emergency conditions. Yeah, this letter.
Yeah, due to the fires last year, we had to reconstruct our calendar. This is the okay seal, so it was approved.
Yay. Okay, thank you. Monterey County Office of Education review of the 21-22 Spreckels Union School District adopted budget and LCAP.
So when we adopt our LCAP and budget in June, the next step is to give it to the county for their review. And this again is saying, good job, Spreckels. We approve of your LCAP.
Did it? Thank you. Okay, and then we have an action, the BV Middle School Field Improvement Project. The contract was awarded to C2 Builders Incorporated, so that's done. Right? Yeah?
You want to take a motion?
Oh, do we have to take it? Oh, yeah, sorry, we have to move for that.
So moved.
May I have a motion for that?
Yes, so moved.
Second?
Yeah? Any discussion? No, just,
Well, this is what we've been working on since 2016, y'all, so this is really, really good news. Yes, and it's very exciting. Tomorrow, with the ratification of this, we'll execute the contracts, we'll send them off to C2, and we've actually already have our first pre-construction meeting scheduled for next Tuesday morning.
Good.
They're going to come out, meet with Kate. The landscape architect will be there. Jaime's going to join us, our lead maintenance. And we'll just start talking about the first steps in terms of securing the site. That's obviously the most important thing. And then the schedule of when large earth-moving equipment will come, and it's just going to be so great.
Awesome.
Just so
Veronica,
exciting.
you should give Peter a call, and he
I
worked
was
on this
gonna
for so
email
long
him,
and so hard.
actually,
With
and
the
yeah.
shovel, have him be the first one. Yeah.
Yeah, I will. I'll email him and tell him that y'all ratified this contract tonight,
Fine.
and just thank him for not giving up on this and pushing it through. And I just think the kids are going to be so thrilled when they see, the enhancements that's coming. So the official start date after the pre-planning and securing the site will be the following Monday, and the planned finish is February. It's about a 4-month window. So, yeah, it's great, and Kate's going to really be involved, and thank you for not panicking about it happening while kids are there. I think this contractor has experience working on school sites, and they understand the importance of a secure workspace and not interrupting our instruction. But
Okay,
thank you.
Thank
Thank you all for this.
Okay, all approved? Oh, do I have to do roll call? No, it's everybody at once, right?
All in
Yeah.
favor?
All in favor, there it is. All in
Aye.
favor?
Aye.
Aye, okay, all opposed? And so we have four ayes, no noes, and 1 absent. Okay, elementary and secondary school emergency relief expenditure plan. Do I have a motion to approve the elementary and secondary school emergency relief expenditure plan?
Second?
So this is yet another plan that's tied to the COVID relief dollars, and this has its own deadline as well. Kind of outlines the bridging program and extra emotional support. What we're noticing, though, I mean, with all the plans, we did our best guess at what we're going to see when they got back. And 18 months later, some of the trends are predictable, like the academic gaps. But others, as Ms. Villarengo said, we're seeing the social emotional be much more pronounced than we thought. So with that, we're kind of reallocating funds based on the need. So for example, the halftime intervention teacher that for academics at Buena Vista, he was able to fill that a different way. So we're going to use that to beef up the Harmony at Home to a full week. So that's kind of an ongoing problem. Identify, do your best to guess what are the kids really experiencing and adjust. So I have a meeting with Harmony at Home tomorrow, and hopefully we'll increase the counselor to 5 days. So both sites will have their, a devoted social emotional lead person. So this ESSER report or plan also goes to the county. We already sent it to the county, so I think what tonight you have has county revisions in it, so it's ready to go if you approve it.
Okay. Any other discussion? Okay, all approved? All in favor? I don't know why you want approval. All in favor, come on.
Sounds good.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, all opposed? None. Okay, approved, 401.
Jen, you're doing great.
Thank you.
Yeah.
This is, okay, motion to move to public hearing.
Second?
Okay, we're in public, I have to do the whole thing. We're in public hearing? Okay, thank you. Can I move to leave public hearing? Do I do that?
Yeah, so we just need to vote. All in favor?
Yeah, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, okay. Motion moves. Approved, 4 ayes, no nays, 1 absent. Okay. Resolution of the textbook and instructional materials. So do I have a motion by roll call vote? Motion to textbook and instructional materials sorry, I can't get this right now. Motion to approve the resolution textbook and instructional materials compliance. So moved?
Second?
Okay, and then,
Yeah, this is the annual,
Discussion.
we write to you annually. Basically, it just says, it lists the different textbooks being used per subject at each site, and it just guarantees that each child has access to one. So if you have questions about textbooks that are being used,
Yeah. Anybody? There's a list.
Exciting stuff. Come on.
This. Okay, so we'll do roll call vote. Chris?
Aye.
Aye, okay. No, Steve. Stephanie?
Aye.
Michael?
Aye.
I went out of order. Me, aye as well. So approved, 401. Okay. Motion to approve the resolution of the final hiring budget revision.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Any discussion?
So this represents just transactionally all of the movement in the budget when we have our final hiring, what we consider our final hiring in place. We do still have a few minor vacancies, and as those are filled, we'll capture those costs in the next budget revision, which you'll see at first interim.
Okay, and this is, I have a question on this. This, usually, my understanding is we want to like propose hiring in March, April. Is that what we expect here? To be able to propose who we want to hire in March?
So most of our hiring happens in the summertime
Okay.
when we either get resignations, well, depending on when we get resignations or retirements. As soon as we know what the position is, we may post that position. For example, the speech and language, we had the retirement very early on and we were able to post that position. So those new costs are different costs were captured in the adopted budget. But hiring is ongoing every single day, huh? Yeah. But when we adopt the budget, the positions that are not filled, we set a placeholder, if you will. We call it a vacancy. And we cost it at what it would be at the highest rate for them to come in with the most experience, the family medical coverage. And then once they actually are hired, we adjust it to where they land on the salary schedule and the benefits that and we typically see savings. It's a conservative way, and you can actually see in this scenario, there was $191 in savings from all of the hiring changes. If you look at this little number right there, that tells you what the change was from the vacancies, the unfilled still positions, so.
Okay.
So approval of the budget is really an approval of the lines, the position lines, and whether they're filled or not. We just know that we've got these positions approved and funded.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Okay, we'll do this by roll call vote. Go with Michael,
Aye.
Chris,
Aye.
Stephanie?
Aye.
I'm an aye as well, so motion approved 401. Thank you. Okay, let's see. Motion to approve the memorandum, the MOU, the Memorandum of Understanding between the Spreckels Union School District and Cicerco Energy Solutions to perform a no-cost preliminary feasibility assessment.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, discussion?
So this is a study that we need to set a baseline for our energy efficiency, primarily focusing on our HVAC units. We did do a refresh a few years ago of 31 units through a grant the state put out, Prop 39. But there are other units that were not replaced at that time because of the efficiency parameters that Prop 39 required. And so we want to bring this feasibility study in so we can create a new baseline. And the reason it's timely now is a lot of these funds that came through COVID, CARES Act, the American Recovery Rescue Plan, they have a very broad use of these one-time dollars. The majority of them we have focused on our programs, whether it's intervention, the counselor, adding gen ed staff, but you can also use it for facilities improvements for your ventilation systems. So we're just preparing this in the event that by the time we get 3 years out and there's some of this unspent money, because all of these buckets expire, and they expire at different times.
Yeah.
Some expire next August, that's the next round. Some already expired back in June. And I think we very strategically identified the timelines and the purpose of those funds so we don't leave any of it on the table. But in the event something, for example, Eric just talked about, we had this halftime intervention position at Buena Vista in the budget. We can't fill it. Kate has, through her master schedule, figured out a way to provide the intervention, and so we're going to shift those monies to the counselor, or to, not the counselor, but to expand the Harmony and Home contract, which is a contracted counselor. So it's the same thing. I need this just to get the data, and then we'll take it to the results, Jennifer, to the facilities committee, and
Okay.
decide there
Oh.
of what use it is, if any.
Okay. Okay, thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so motion carries 4-0-1. Okay, motion to approve the California School Boards Association Gamut Policy Plus and Policy Manual Review Proposal.
So moved.
Second?
Okay. No discussion.
CSBA is the California School Boards Association, and one of their services is the policy updates, the regs, which we have a whole bunch of them following later in the agenda. So right now, and Travis, you may be able to help me with the explanation of this, we store our policies on our website and we update them through our Drive, Google Drive. Well, Google has decided that's not the way that's designed to store files. Am I explaining that correctly? Okay. Well, that's a lot of it too, because it's very clunky the way we do it right now. And so we would like to expand, we have a current service with them, which is the gamut policy. We already subscribe to that. We're asking for the add-on of the Policy Plus, which is $26.40 a year, and then that will become an ongoing cost. And then for this step, there's a $1,250 one-time to do a review of our current manual and make sure that we have indeed captured everything up to date. So our request is for the $26.40 ongoing and the $1,250 one-time. And we had a presentation, Travis and Lisa Belton, and it's just incredibly streamlined compared to what the time we're taking now. In fact, y'all will have access to it, so you won't even get all these PDFs possibly anymore that we send you with, you know, pages and pages and pages. It's going to be great.
Okay. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Motion carries 4-0-1. Okay, next we have curriculum instruction. Any information on that?
Nope.
Do you have anything? Okay. Personnel. We have a first read job description for the COVID-19 coordinator. Sorry, excuse me. Oh, is that a motion? It is.
Motion, yeah.
I'm sorry. Motion to approve the first read job description for the coordinator for COVID-19.
So moved.
Second?
Discussion?
Yeah, the last meeting, you guys approved money to go ahead and do this temporary position. This is the job description that aligns to it. We are expecting to be like not to go over so many hours a week. We're hoping it's not needed that often, but we're preparing for when testing begins August 15th for any staff that's not vaccinated. And other things, contact tracing, pretty much to take the poor Monica. Yeah. So thank you for approving that funds, but this is the job description that we align to it.
Okay, any other discussion?
I just have another question. I might say, and I just can't remember and I can't see from here, but will they also help in coordinating that testing? I know not the pod stuff, but what we talked about last time, if somebody is in need of a test
Yes.
within, they'll
Right.
be able to help coordinate that as well
Right.
too.
All things testing.
Great.
Okay, any other discussion? No? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, all opposed? None. Motion carries 4-0-1. Okay, so now we have any committees update?
Yeah, the last couple of weeks, we kicked off our first two committees. We had a safety committee meeting, and it's been a while. So we kind of regrouped and talked about returning to school and what's gone well, what hasn't. It's been about 18 months since the kids have done a drill, so we went and identified the drills that needed to happen throughout the year. I think you both held your first and went pretty well. And then from there, and I gave access to the safety plan that we'll discuss more later, but they were going ahead and take a look at that. So we'll probably meet every 2 months and go from there. Equity Committee kicked off, and this year it's has a much more prominent role based on our LCAP, and so we expanded the membership, and it was really nice. We broadened it, added quite a few teachers, some parents, and we're still looking for, anybody else who wants to be on the Equity Committee, but we're going to do a lot of good work, and one of the first things we're going to do at next month's meeting, a quarterly report is an LCAP action item, so we'll give a formal report next month.
Okay.
It's exciting, though. It's a good group of people.
Good, thank you. Now the bridging program update.
Yeah, so we have phase 1 and 2 are in the books, and so I wanted to, now that we're kind of looking at the data and what kids were served, kind of take a look at. I would say it was very, very successful. Total kids served was 140. The phase 1 again was the tutoring in the spring. Phase 2 was summer school, and a total of 140 kids. 38 kids actually got both phases. So that's the way it breaks down there, and by grade level. Want to go to the next one? We took a look at summer school pre and post testing and kind of looked at growth. For the most part, it was really positive. We expected it, but not to this degree. And so if you take a look, the first one is reading, writing, and math for the 6th and 7th graders at BU that took part. The kids that made positive gains, and you can see the percent there. Neutral is there was no gain, and then the negative was some declined. And the same thing for the Spreckels kids. I want to thank the teachers that took part because it really was meaningful for the kids. The next one is the feedback from the parents, I believe. This is the first one that said, which phase did my child take part? And the next one's important because it asked them if the value of it for their children, 1 being low, 5 being high, and that kind of speaks for itself. Parents really appreciated it. They were able to type in comments too, and some just really appreciative of the board, of the teachers, for providing the services. And now we begin phase 3, which is the intervention that we've talked about. Both sites have pull-out programs, and we're going to start the next round of tutoring soon, right? We're identifying kids. We're going to talk to the teachers on Monday about kind of just finalizing, the rate and also when we'll hold that. So that's coming soon.
Eric, do we know anything about the carryover effect, or maybe the principals could comment about, the kids that did the summer school,
right.
They were, didn't have a good attitude towards math or whatever it was, when they started that. That's how they got nominated for this. Are we seeing a carryover into the academic year with those particular kids? Is there some evidence that this is really helping them overcome some of the, issues that they were facing?
It's hard to tell because some of these kids just really struggled with distance learning and had huge gaps in their learning from being online. And now that we're seeing some of those kids who are really struggling back in school full day, we are seeing improvement there. So it's kind of which one
Yeah.
is the cause.
Yeah, chicken and egg, right?
But when our teachers were meeting the other day to identify struggling students, not all students that received summer school supports were students that were identified as still struggling in the classroom to be eligible for the bridging program this year. So that's a positive turn.
Okay.
Okay, thanks.
And I agree, it's hard to see yet, but I do know from talking to some of the older children and to quite a few of the parents that they felt like it was exactly what we called it, a bridging from, being at home to coming back in little pods to being back in full-blown school, that they're having an easier time of it because they had that opportunity in the summer to be here and to kind of keep it rolling. So I think that's even a piece of it that won't show academically. So I'm hopeful that it continues.
It'd be a great master's degree for somebody.
Yeah, no kidding.
For sure.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, I have another question on this. My understanding was that some of the teachers were asked to do the tutoring, and some of them were doing the before school, after school tutoring. Is that also what our plan is so far, or is that jumping ahead?
No, the tutoring, the next round, yes, using our teachers for the ones that want to do it for before, after school, starting, they're kind of timing it with the conferences, kind of like an intervention at the conference, your child
Okay.
qualifies. The first, in the spring, it was a looser identification of kids, but now that we really have some more data, I think we could target the kids that really need tutoring. So Same model, probably more targeted kids. But
Okay.
yes, teachers, hopefully they'll sign up for before or after school,
Before and after.
in person only this year.
Okay, okay, thank you. Yeah, dependent on how many people we have to do it, to provide or dependent. Okay, thank you very much.
I have a question, Jen. And that was actually going to be one of my questions. Do we have an idea of how many we are hoping to serve or what might meet the need?
I'm going to defer to the people that are identifying them. Do you have
Yeah.
an idea?
How's that going?
Finalizing our list for meeting next Wednesday to really get an idea for conferences, but also for students who could benefit from the tutoring program.
And some of those students are already placed in the pull-out intervention. So they've been receiving services right away.
Yeah, we have pressure
Math.
going on. There's
Reading.
3 different classes of that, and then we have 3 different math support classes already currently happening. So this is in addition to those supports. And kids who are in those classes are still eligible to receive the additional tutoring if they fall in that category as well.
Okay.
And homework club already started too. So that's
Yeah.
an additional support that started at one of
A
those.
lot of the research looks at not only student grades, and whether or not they're being able to complete tests, but attitudinal changes in terms of students believing that this is attainable, that this is something that they can actually find success in, whereas before they didn't feel that way about it, especially with distance learning. They were feeling estranged from the whole process. And so I hope that teachers are seeing a result where kids are saying, well, maybe I didn't feel like it was possible when I was home by myself, but now I'm starting to feel like, this is possible, and it's a direction that they can find success. And the research is really interesting that if they don't do those, the other kind of progress isn't going to happen. Right?
And there's kind of 2 groups. There's real high need academically that would be the first served, but there's also kids that I always call the gray area that just can't quite get there and just kind of sit quietly and don't make that progress that they need to and just need that extra push. So I'm really hoping to look at with the teachers once everything's finalized, some different ways of doing that intervention and different kinds of groupings so that we can service those kids.
Yeah, so they can make that push. Great.
Okay, anything else?
Well, so it sounds like we have multiple layers of support going on for our students, which is probably really important at this time because, and it's come up a number of times tonight already too, the social emotional need and understanding, how are those two interplaying with each other and impacting academics.
I think there's overlap in the tutoring, because the tutoring, it's one-on-one or one-on-two, and they get that, in most cases, the nurturing, and they could ask questions where they wouldn't. So I think tutoring for me has always been the biggest bang for the buck for all the reasons you mentioned.
Right, no, absolutely. But I mean, all of the other interventions that are currently going on.
Right,
You
right, right.
talked about Harmony at Home.
Right.
We have I don't think I have the psychologist, I'm not sure if I'm using
Counselor,
her-
right.
Counselor. So it sounds like there are a lot of layers that are available to.
For example, the
support
counselor's
our
actually doing a wellness center one day a week at,
At Buena Vista, so we have it kind of split. We have our Harmony Home counselor that's here for 2 days a week, and then we have the district counselor that's there for 1, and on those Wednesdays, she does wellness center. And then she started to do outreach with all the health teachers, and so just presented to all the 8th grade students about anxiety and how to cope with anxiety if you ever start to feel it's coming on. And she's going to be presenting to 6th grade next week, 7th grade the week after, so our entire school will get the same message. So we're really hoping to do a lot of preventative strategies to get kids aware of just their mental health and how to cope with, unforeseen situations, which is what we're seeing this year.
Yeah,
Okay.
no, that's great to hear. Well, and I know probably in this room, this isn't new, but, understanding that relationship between behavior, what we see with what's underlying. And so I'm very glad to hear about all of these programs.
Great, thank you very much. Okay. Next is the California Department of Public Health State Public Health Officer Order for Vaccine Verification for Workers in Schools, August 11th, 2021.
right, this was the order that basically said that you need to provide proof of vaccination or you start testing once a week. Actually, we thought it was twice. We were happy to find out it was just once a week. But Monica's been collecting the documentation. We have to be in compliance by October 15th, so we are planning to have our first test of the non-vaccinated or the no documentation staff the next week. That's why the COVID coordinator, it's going to be a nice timing for that. So we'll be aligned with the order.
Okay,
Did you say October 15th?
October 15th, yeah, that's when, I'm sorry, I didn't say that.
you said that.
Oh, yeah, that was the deadline for having the program in
Yeah.
place.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, do I have a motion to approve the final read of the suspension and expulsion due process?
So moved.
Second?
And discussion?
Unless you have questions, no.
No? Okay,
I
Yeah.
have a question.
Go
Sure,
for it.
go for it.
So, and I know we've talked about this in past years, that it's been quite low, suspensions and expulsions.
Right.
And I just wanted to check in if anything has changed, or,
No, this just aligns with the new laws. For example, they eliminated suspending students for what's called disruption, which is a good thing. It was kind of like the throw-all. Our suspension rate's like 1%, if even that. We have to have this in place, but fortunately, through the other interventions and just having really incredibly good kids, we haven't expelled somebody, I think, since
Oh.
2008, something like that. Hopefully not going to do it again.
yeah.
Did I answer your question?
No, it's important, obviously, to have a policy and one that's
Right.
updated, because, again, understanding and hearing a lot what's happening with students and
Right.
struggling and
Right.
behavioral issues, that's kind of why I think,
Right.
it's good to have a policy in
Fortunately,
place.
yes, behaviors are popping up, but I don't think so far we've had to take this step yet.
And I don't mean our district necessarily, I
Right.
mean,
Right.
in many
Absolutely.
places, this is.
Okay, we're good there? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? None? Okay, motion carries 401. Okay, do I have a motion to approve the final read of the AR 4161.8 family leave?
So moved.
Second?
Okay, discussion?
Again, unless there's questions, no.
I don't have any. Anybody? No? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? None? Motion carries 401. Okay, do I have a motion to approve the final read of the June 2021 policies for the guide sheet A?
So moved.
Second?
Discussion? None either.
Unless there's
Any
questions, no.
discussion? No? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? None? Motion carries 401. Okay, do I have a motion to approve is this the first read or the final read?
So moved.
Oh, hang on just a second, Michael.
Second?
Sorry. Because this one says the first read, June 2021, Part 2 policies for the guide sheet for the drug and alcohol testing for school bus drivers. So I think we need a, sorry guys, because one says first read. This is
right,
our
yeah.
first read or our final read? This is our final read. Thank you very much. Okay, motion to approve the final read for the June 2021 Part 2 policies per guide sheet for the drug and alcohol testing for school bus drivers.
So moved.
And second?
Okay, thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, motion carries 401. Okay, motion to approve the first, no, there's another final. A final read of the July 2021 Part 2 policies per the guide sheet.
So moved.
Second?
Okay, any discussion on that one? We're good there? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? None. Motion carries 401 again. And now the motion to approve the first read of the May 2019 policies per the guide sheet.
So moved.
Second?
Okay, any discussion on that one? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries 401. Okay. So consent items. All the items under the consent can be discussed, or we can, what do we say usually? Does anybody have any discussion on the consent items? No? Okay, so we're good there. And can I get a motion to approve the board meeting minutes from our last board meeting?
Well, we're doing it all consent, right?
Oh, this is all consent. Huh? Yeah, that's right. So this is, sorry. Thank you, Mike.
Okay.
Yeah, so we have,
I'll move to approve the consent items.
thank you. Motion to approve all the
Second.
consent. Those are done. Okay, those are all there.
We got to
Motion
vote.
to- So we have motion to approve, and do we have a second on that?
I don't think we do.
I did.
You did? Okay, thank you. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Nobody? Okay. Those approved 401.
Hey, Jen, can I say something?
Yes, please.
Folks, running your first public meeting is not easy. And unfortunately, it's a skill that you got to learn in public, in front of people. And stepping up to a leadership position in a school board is pretty significant. And I think we really got to thank Jen for doing that. Madam Vice President, I think you did a great job tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you. We're almost there. Does anybody have anything they'd like to add to our future agenda items?
Anything yet?
Nothing yet? Okay. Okay, so that's done. Then can I have a motion to adjourn the meeting? It's, what time is it? It's 8, I don't even
So moved,
8 o'clock. So, okay, and I think we just all approve it, yeah?
right?
Yay, we all in favor?
Yeah.
Aye, we're good to go.
Aye.
8 o'clock. Yeah, thank you very much, everybody. I didn't see